How's it going, Husker Nation? Shane Powers here, redwhitecornsports.com. If you haven't already, please just take a moment, subscribe to the channel. It takes 1 second. Click the button below. Please do it right now. Subscribe to the channel. Helps me out, obviously, but it also helps you out because that's going to be my main way to keep you guys informed and keep you up to date on all things that are happening, in the world of the Nebraska Cornhuskers. So subscribe, guys. Please like the video. Subscribe right now. Let's get that out of the way with. Now, what are we here to talk about today, guys? I want to preview for you this year's Nebraska offense and see, hey, can they be better than last year? We lost a lot of one-score games last year, and arguably if we would have even had a mediocre offense, if we would have had a slightly better offense overall than what we put on the field last year, I think we would have won a lot of more games last year. Schedule's a little bit different this year, but very manageable. But it's going to come down to, is the offense improved? Have we improved on that front? So let's take a look and let's see if we have or we haven't, right? So first, let's talk about where we were last year, guys. Passing yards, 251st ranked, 135.9 yards per game average. Rushing yards, a little bit better, but still 63rd. For the team that was supposed to be the run-the-ball team last year, 63rd overall is still not very impressive, right? 177 rushing yards per game. Total yards per game, we came in at 215th. That's 313 yards per game. Abysmal, guys. Absolutely horrible offensive stats. I mean, in Power 5 football and college football, how do you have the 215th ranked total yards per game team, the 251st passing yards per game team, right? Passing yards last year, passing leader was Heinrich Harburg. That's with 967 yards, guys. Behind him was Chubba Purdy, and he had 382 yards. And then behind him was Jeff Sims, who obviously we all know how that story ended and turned out, had 282 passing yards. Okay. For rushing yards, Heinrich Harburg, again, and we can't keep doing this, Husker Nation. We can't keep having the quarterback being the leading rusher. It just doesn't work today in modern football. It's like working Big Ten football. But Heinrich Harburg being the leading rusher last year with 483 yards. Right behind him, Anthony Grant, 413. Behind him, Emmett Johnson, 411. And behind him, Gabe Irvin Jr., 196 yards per game, or yards in total last year. And then lastly, guys, receiving yards, Billy Kemp, leading receiver last year, 310 yards. Obviously, he was a senior, graduated, he's gone. Thomas Fidone, behind him, 260 yards. Jalen Lloyd, who I'm most excited for this season, 237 yards, most of those on chunk plays. And then behind him, Alex Bullock, who will be a senior this year, 221 yards, guys. So, not great stats all around when you look at that. If we look at this thing and we say, hey, rushing yards per game, we ranked 63rd, like I said. Points for, meaning how many points do we score, we ranked 79th. Points against, how many points were scored against us, ranked 63rd. So, guys, how do we fix that going into this year? I mean, last year, as you guys know, we lost a lot of one-score games, right? A lot of one-score games last year, guys. And so if we would have had an offense that was even slightly better than those abysmal stats I just gave you, the one-score game losses, right? We lost Minnesota 13-10. Should never have lost that game. But that can't really be on the coaches. Not altogether, unless they saw something in practice that could have had them change course. But Jeff Sims was not who I think they thought he was when he came in. I'm not trying to beat him down or anything, but that's just realistic, right? I mean, the on-field performance was not there. 13-10, Minnesota. A little bit better offense. That was an easy win, guys. 36-14, Colorado. I mean, the turnovers in that game comes down to the offense, right? Michigan was Michigan, right? I don't need to talk about that game. They're national champs. We're just not quite there at that level yet. I think we can be very soon, but we're not yet. But, guys, we were one game away from bowl eligibility with 4 games left on the schedule, and there was really zero excuses for us not making a bowl game. Could we play Michigan State, who was in the middle of a coaching scandal, and they were not even playing their starting quarterback, I think, if I remember right, and we lost 2017. Better offense, would have won. Maryland, 13-10, better offense, we would have won. Wisconsin, 24-17, a better offense, we would have won. Iowa, 13-10, a better offense, we would have won. I think you guys can see the theme here, where I'm going with this. So, how did we improve this year's offense? Why am I more optimistic this year? Because I'll tell you guys I am. I think that's going to be the difference this year. As long as the defense doesn't take a step back at all, then I think what makes me optimistic for this year is the offense should take a big step forward. If you remember right, last year, what did we deal with? First of all, Jeff Sims was not the quarterback we thought he was going to be. Injuries also to him, to Chuba Purdy, to Heinrich in the middle of the year. So injuries at that position. Obviously, the injuries at the halfback position were detrimental. So you guys know that. We had many injuries at that position. The halfback room was like down to the 4th or 5th string at some point. So we have some great talent coming in this year. Dowdell is a transfer from Oregon, is a big, heavy hitting Big Ten back. I'm excited to see what he does. Emmett Johnson really coming into his role last year. He's beefed up over the offseason. I expect him to play a big role. Question marks for me is Gabe Ervin. I mean, he's been hurt every year. He's been on the field. And, it's hard to really fully come back from those types of injuries. Same with Ramir Johnson. There's Quentin Ives. But I expect the rotation, frankly, to probably be Emmett Johnson, Dodell. But we'll see. But that's an improvement out of that position if they can stay healthy. Obviously, the quarterback position, do I need to talk about it, guys? Dylan Raiola's coming in. Danny Kalen came in. We still have Heinrich Harburg. Matt Rule won't announce it, but there's zero reason why Dylan shouldn't be the day one starter and carry us through the year, barring any injuries. The talent, if you watch the spring game, is clearly there. It's clearly there. Freshman or not, he's an upgrade at the position. There's no question. There's no question that he's an upgrade at that position. He should be on the field. That right there is going to be a big boost. The receiving core, Jalen Lloyd is still around. Billy Kemp's still there. Nayor is a transfer we brought in. And Malachi Coleman, you haven't seen a lot of him since he came in. I think he battled some injuries and stuff. But if he's healthy and he comes in, that'll be huge. And overall, guys, the offensive line, I think we're returning the majority of the starters, including Ben Scott at center, who's going to be at Big Ten Media Days next week, by the way. I fully expect this offense to take a giant leap forward this year, and I mean a giant leap forward. And that's going to make the difference, guys. If the defense doesn't take a step back, that's going to make the difference in these one-score games. Look for this to be a key season, right? If we can't still get over the hump on this season, I don't know what it's going to take, and I don't know who's going to do it. We'll be in big trouble, all right? So look for this season to be the season we get over the hump. The offense should be infinitely better, assuming the defense either at least stays the same, and if it improves even better, then those one-score losses should easily be wins for the Husker Nation, guys. Again, if you haven't at this point, like the video, please subscribe to the channel so you can keep up to date on all the Husker news and commentary, and visit me at my website, redwhitecornsports.com, redwhitecornsports.com. Link in the description, guys. Thank you.